So history provides an ideal vehicle for critical thinking in the sense that on most topics, not all topics, students don't have any emotional investment.
Yeah.
So they can look at it in a somewhat neutral way. If we teach students how to do this in the history context, they will have skills and attitudes that will make them, hopefully, better citizens. I mean, I had a student say, well, that's about something that just happened. And said, well, that's interesting, but I'll bet you there's another point of view. That's what I'm striving for, that students will know that reasonable people have different points of view, and that when somebody advances a claim, you need to be saying, well, that's interesting. Where did you get that information from? The book on the left, it's a history book on slavery, and the book on the right, a different point of view on slavery. And I take those, and I made the one by Elkins on the left into Interpretation A. The students can't read these books. There are too many of them.
Oh, yeah.
So I see my role is taking them and summarizing them and putting the evidence in. There are footnotes in those so they can look at the sources. This provides the teachers with the opportunity to introduce to the students that people have different points of view through history. The example I have on the screen is that the teacher explaining that the Tea Act is an important cause of the American Revolution. I could explain that to the students. But on the right-hand side, you'll see it gives them 3 arguments of why the Tea Act was an important cause. And they have to pick out the one that makes the best connection between the Tea Act and the American Revolution. So what happens? In the conventional way, they learn content. In this way, the problem approach, they learn content and a skill. When they find out that historians disagree on some topics, and you ask them, okay, which one do you think is strongest? They'll say, A. Why? I don't know. Well, can you think of anything? It sounds better. Well, is there anything in there that they don't know what to do?
Yeah.
So teaching them the skills will transfer, hopefully, over to whatever's in the news. What I found out is a lot of students, they go online very quickly and they pick the first source that comes up. In some cases, they pick slideshows so they don't have to read anything, or YouTube, that sort of thing. Is the article or book peer-reviewed? Has anybody looked at it and fact-check it? When they go on Snapchat, they're not looking for peer-reviewed. When I do it, they're like, what does peer-reviewed mean? And so that's an opportunity to teach them. If you want a specific one, should we be taking down the statues of Columbus? I found in 5 or 6 news articles from different points of view, and then have the students read the article, see what they think, and then give them background on where this is from, what's the reputation of the source, what's the reputation of the author of the source. Students can't do that collection, but I can. I can collect things and then give them those problems to solve. I think of myself as an orchestra composer. I compose a symphony, and then I conduct the orchestra. But the students play the instruments. This is supplementary. The books are like a menu, and the teacher selects from the menu. Oh, I'm doing the causes of the American Revolution. Oh, I'll do that problem where they have to decide which is the best explanation of the cause and effect. The critical thinking that we do should be in our own heads. So what is my confirmation bias here? What do I need to do to be more neutral on this? I agree with it, but gee, I should ask about what sources they used, because I would do that if I didn't agree with it. So it's about humility. It's not about certainty. We need to, as new information comes in, say, let me think about that. I mean, I was dealing with 16-year-old kids.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot by being open to the kinds of things that they said. So critical thinking isn't just about skills. It's about attitudes. How do you test your assumptions unless you talk to people that have different points of view because they will question your assumptions. And that's how you can learn. At the end of the day, if you've learned something, that's better than winning an argument.